if I'm audible. Alhamdulillah. Sorry about that. I hope. If I'm audible. Yep, definitely. It caught my sneeze, so. Yeah, I'm clearly audible. So here we are. After the lobby glitched out, we're back again for one more try. Let me just share that. A new stream. It's a new stream, of course, because the old one, right? Jackster is here. Fun Anywhere is complaining that he can't see him, unfortunately. That's the pain you get with this game. You have to be really patient. Nerves of steel, if you can call that. As everyone is just waiting, doing some donuts here for our entertainment. Pratik Benya did say to have a look at his wheel, which not too easy to see. I can see it's red in color, or is that pink? That's a 4-spoke wheel. That's what I can see. If you can come a little bit forward and maybe not ghost, I should be able to see him properly. If you can hear this, and if he's playing the stream side by side. No, he's going in the opposite direction, so yeah, it's definitely red. Who else? I saw McLaren out on the track. Abby has had enough of rest. Okay, now I think we have to just well, let's just wait for the race to start now. I think that's the only thing to do at the moment. Besides that, let me just quickly update the point situation, courtesy the result last weekend. Pleb finished P6, so that has allowed Monk to close down the gap, and now the gap at the moment is 22 points, and drivers behind him are RKV and Shami, who are 50 and 69 points behind respectively from our championship leader Ancient Pleb, who sits on 130. So finishing P6 and P7 a race prior to that, hasn't held his charge towards the championship victory, which it seemed pretty comfortable at the halfway mark. When 5 races were down, he did manage to win 4 out of those 5, and looked pretty comfortable to steamroll, what do you say it? I think steamroll the opponents here, but the last 2 results haven't been the best for him and allowed his rivals to close up. Now let's take it back to the race. Keep an eye out on the minimap, ensure and hope and pray that there's no spinning triangles on the track. Looks alright, fingers crossed. There is one, there is 2. Oh no, Jackster, who's in the Viper just like his teammate. Oh, that's not good. Dan is fine, Shah is fine. Red top. So I think, yeah, we have to do this final restart, and I think we have to just let everyone be as it is. So once again, back to the drawing board. I was too engrossed in app. I did not notice the session was started. Let's just get back to the race. One change that was made is Jackster and Red Dot Blue were put behind. It was just Jackster. He was in front of Glenn, and now Glenn is in front because Jack and Red Dot Blue were glitching. So yeah, they were made to put behind. Hopefully it's a clean start for all of them. No, Red Dot Blue is off, and so is Jackster. Rest everyone looks fine, so I think this should be... Where is Glenn? Glenn is right. I think this should be the race, and we're off here. I think we should be officially off now. Dan Lord is fine. Abby Thakur, I can't go up on him. Fun anyway manages to hold on to his lead, followed by Archie. Pratik Benya, Flipper is in P3, but he's coming under attack from Ancient Pleb, and Shami is right inside of him. Was there some contact made between these two? No contact, but slipstream is what the strategy should be, and you can already see the speed disadvantage Lamborghini has over the Citroen, and coming under attack from RKV. So Lamborghini already on the back foot and going defensive even after being in the slipstream. Viper meanwhile is being overtaken by Aditya Kalra, or that's Aditya, right? No, I think that's Glenn who overtook him, but funny how the game works, and now Glenn's name is here. So we can all see it's all a slipstream train, everyone trying to get within the slipstream of each other. As this camera angle should be good. There's no attack as such that's happening in the field, so all single file happening right now. Pleb has managed to hold on to his P6. Wasn't Pleb in Subaru? I think he changed at the last moment, but he is now under attack from Glenn, and even after being in the slipstream, you can see how much of a sitting duck is that Lamborghini is. Monk, meanwhile, in his Viper, doesn't seem to have that much of an advantage as he would have hoped for, as he is not closing down on the gap as quickly as he would have liked. Further up the field, there's already the battle for the lead going on. Fun anywhere going left and right, trying to break that slipstream, but there's nothing that he could do as he's coming under attack from two drivers, and these two needs to understand that they need to work together as a team as Pratik goes deep, but not deep enough to make contact with the wall. And now I think they have to work together and maybe try to pull away from the gap behind, but I think it's too late for that, as Shami is very much under the slipstream range here. The longer these two battle, Archie and Pratik, the better it will be for Fun anywhere to hold on to his lead and maybe maintain that gap. But Pratik is not relenting here. He wants that P2, and rightly so. Archie also on the outside. He doesn't want to have any of it as he holds on to his position, or rather the placement of his car. Archie back up into P2. Pratik going for another move here, and what this has done, as Archie goes a bit deep, allowed this train here, Shami, you can see Fun anywhere is almost 1.5 seconds up in the front. So battle between Archie and Pratik is not helping the rest of the grid, and for a little bit down, RKV and Glenn have managed to make up some positions. Pleb in the Lamborghini, this is not going to help him one bit. I think he made another strategic error. Maybe he's trying this, doing this on purpose to make this championship interesting. Maybe we'll never know. Maybe we should know after the session is over. Already, Shami's in the pits, getting rid of his mediums. Speaking of mediums, let's have a look at the tire compound choices that drivers are on. Fun anywhere is on the softs. Archie on the softs. Pratik has some damage on the softs. That explains why he's understeering through the corners and coming under attack from the drivers behind. Glenn is on the softs, RKB is on the mediums, so he's definitely having some advantage here. You can see the gap between Archie and Fun Anywhere has already opened up by over a second here, and over a second between Archie and Glenn. So definitely these two drivers at the top two will breathe a sigh of relief for now, until of course Glenn and RKB work as a team and close down the gap once again. Pratik is going into the pits, yes, with the damage that he has. Ashwin has left the room, unfortunate. Wildest Monk, Mr. Consistent, we haven't had the opportunity to be on board with him, but as is there going to be a move here from RKV? No, not really. Maybe at the next race. So coming back to Monk, the only surviving Viper, his teammate lagged out, as funny as this game works. On the softs, he is doing rather well on the tire wear front compared to Lamborghini. I think Lamborghini is not doing too well on its tire wear. Below that, Pratik Benya, who no idea where he was. He's down in P7. Rahul, aka Shah, is on the softs in the McLaren. Dan Lord further behind. Abby again on the Lamborghini. Shami is down into P11. Aditya is about to be lapped, as we can see here. So Archie has a lead here, but yeah, the guys have pitted in. So you can see Fun Anywhere, RKB, Pratik, Glenn, all the leaders have made the pit stop except Archie. So Archie, what he needs to do is, of course, he will pit in. He's almost out of the fuel, but look at the advantage Lamborghini has over the Citroen, and the advantage Viper has. So a lot of maybe they are fuel saving all this while. Me not realizing that. We will see him slot into the pits, but further back, Monk has closed on the gap massively on Pleb here, and even fuel wise he is doing much better than Pleb. Will he follow him down in the pits? Yes, he is. So I think everyone here has made their pit stop. Oh yeah, RKB is yet to make, so I think everyone will be in the pits. Yeah, we should see Shah is in as well. Abby, maybe he can carry out for one more lap. Pleb is out already. Back up in the lead. He is on the mediums. Surprising, he is not on the racing hards to get rid of those tires. Maybe trying a different strategy here. Monk is out as well. He's on the hards, so this could be an in/out lap for him. Further down the field, there is a battle going on between Fun Anywhere, who almost have a full tank of fuel. Abhi Thakur is about to run out of it. Glenn has overtaken him comfortably. He is on the racing medium. Archie, he is on the racing hard, so maybe we could see him slot back into the pits. And Shami is falling up closely behind, so what he needs for himself is the drivers ahead to fight for positions. As you see, Ancient Pleb is back again into the pit, so I think there was some error made here. Going on the mediums and not refueling looks like a strange strategy, and you can see he's refueling now. Abhi Thakur has made his way back into the pits. Monk is leading this race, back from P6, P7. He is coming under attack from Fun Anywhere rather quickly. Let's have a look at the gear shift. How many gears does this car has? 7? I think this car has 7 gears. Yeah, I don't think he's really pushing. You can see the speed difference between these two, 249 against 265. So yeah, he is running a lean fuel mixture, so saving his fuel, maybe trying to play this strategically, if I said that correctly. And he should make this move rather easily, and Monk should slot right back in behind him to save fuel even further, but Fun Anywhere is not allowing that one bit. Glenn is up into P3, started further back down the order, and Shami has made his way up to P4, and he is closing down the gap to Glenn. So the quicker he can do that and work along with Archie, the better it is for his chances for a race win tonight. So anyone can have a race win tonight, courtesy how the stack works. Let's go back up. I think there is a move about to be made from Glenn here, and Monk is defending that. He is not making it easy for Glenn as he would have hoped for, but with the inside line, I think should be an easy move. There's no rearview mirror, but we can see from the side that was a pretty easy move. But the gap between Fun Anywhere and Glenn has opened up quite a bit, so he's definitely out of the slipstream range. And Monk, I think what he's doing here is preserving his fuel, which I think is a smart strategy. He is maybe he has had some practice at some point of time, and he knows what he's doing. Skimmy did. Dan Lord is in the pits. He is in P8. Pratik is in a world of his own, so not good if we consider other competitors are slipstreaming off each other. RKV is down on P6, and he could very much close down on Pratik. Shah is falling up closely behind him. Let's get back to any of the back that we could have. Pleb is in a lowly P8, so this is not good for our championship leader. He is leading by 22 points, but he is losing a lot of he has lost a lot of points in the last two races, so this could be third in a row. Shami is right on his tail, and we could very well see the speed disadvantage that Lamborghini has over him very soon. Is there a change of positions here? Oh no, it's just Aditya getting lapped. So let's get back on board with Shami. Will he go for the lunch on the inside? Don't think he will. He will play this smartly and maybe wait for turn 3 as... Oh, he scrapes the wall. They should give him the opportunity to make that move rather easily, and that's another position loss as Fun Anyway has made his pit stop, and he is... Where is Fun Anyway right now? Is he refueling? Doesn't look like. The graphic doesn't show, but anyways, Pratik is back into the pits as well. So did Fun Anywhere come in? He was on softs, right? So I've lost the information on the tire compounds that has been used. Remember, everyone has to use all the 3 compounds that's available to them to avoid any sort of post-race penalties here. Monk working rather well here. He was P1, but now he is very much behind Glenn, and now he should be following Glenn for another pit stop. So tire wear, there was literally none for him. I think this stint he performed really well, saved fuel as much as he could. Don't think he went up all the way in his refueling, so that's a job well done. But it's a long race. We are just under 12 minutes down to this race, so it's still a lot of race to be had. So we can see from the mini map, the field is quite spread out, but that's courtesy the tire compounds that everyone is having and the refueling that everyone is doing. So we could see towards the end everyone punching up again, and we could be in for a photo finish towards the end, but that's a story for another 38 minutes. We could see that. For now, Shami is making his way on the outside, or is that Monk? Oh, that's not Monk, that's Shami. Yeah, attempting a move on the outside, but Fun Anyway had the better of him. And now we can see into the turn 1, courtesy better line of that corner, and nothing that Fun Anyway can do here, and that's a move made easy. But will Fun Anyway defend that? Maybe send a mini lunch on the inside. No, he just allows Shami to go through, and I think that's how drivers should work together. They may be rivals on track, but on a track like this where slipstream is as good as gold, you have to work as a team with every driver on track. Pleb is up into P4, courtesy everyone pitting in, so he's doing quite well. Not sure if this is net P4 or he is in P4, because people around have pitted more than him for now. This is something that we could know by the end of the race, but for now P4, not bad. Much better than P7 and P6 he had in the last couple of races. So all he needs to do is maybe save a bit more fuel. You can see the tire where everyone will struggle on the right side of their tire, because of course that's where all the load will fall. Shami is still leading this race, so Fun Anywhere, maybe he is playing this fuel saving game. Could be, but where's Pleb here? Oh, Pleb is right behind. I lost him in the replay for a bit. Glenn is in a no man's land, and so is Archie. Pratik is just a second in front of Abhi Thakur, so maybe Abhi Thakur can close that gap. It doesn't look like. You can see how much of a speed disadvantage his Lamborghini is at. It's growing half a tenth every millisecond, if you can say that, and he's coming under attack from another Citroen in the form of RKB. Shami is into the pits from the lead of this race, so Fun Anywhere is back up into P1. For Fun Anywhere's sake, he was leading last week as well in St. Croix, how will we say that name? So he was leading that race before he lagged out massively and disconnected from the session. So for his sake and for entertainment's sake. Let's hope this that is not the case once again, and he's able to complete this race while giving us all some entertainment as the race progresses or as the race goes on. Monk is in his best position of P2, as we are all used to seeing him in podium. Of course, he is someone who's not unfamiliar with. I think I've lost count of how many podium finishes he has had, and you can see Fun Anywhere going wide and trying to break the slipstream, but there's no point. 1.3 second is enough to be out of that range. Archie is in the pits. Not bad from his fuel and tire wear perspective, but maybe trying something else. RKV having a race of his own till now. Haven't seen him battling with anyone, so interesting to see how his races pan out. Everyone else we've seen, these guys battle with each other, use each other's slipstream, trying to save the fuel and work together as a team for now. RKV is someone who, me personally, haven't seen him yet. Having of not seeing much, Aditya Kalra, who has been lapped already by Glenn, so top 3 have already lapped him. Running P12, he's a reserve, so yeah, not the race to remember for him, as he sets his personal best with a 48.7. 48.0 is the fastest lap, and I think that has to be in the slipstream range. Dan Lord, who glitched out last weekend, is doing rather well connection wise. P11 in the Citroen. Abitakor down in P10 in his Lamborghini. Tire wear seems to be an issue with the Lambo compared to the Citroen, as Pratik is into the pits and had a good amount of refuel that comes out on the racing softs. So let's go to any battles on track between Archie and Shah. Shah being the good gentleman that he is, maybe indicating to let him through to the left, or maybe the track turns left only, so he's indicating at every corner. Something that we'll never know until, of course, after the race. So we'll come back to that. RKV and Fun Anyway are in the pits, fuel running out for them. Glenn is into P2, fuel, yeah, so he will be pitting in this lap, and Monk is up in P1, and fuel doesn't seem to be the issue. So I think, going against the popular opinion, let's not forget his teammate Jackster, who glitched out of the lobby. Unfortunate, our race winner last weekend. He was in the Viper as well, so maybe these two have had some practice, of which we don't know, of course. And they found out that this race pace, in the race pace, Viper was doing much better than the popular choice in the Citroen here. So both of them pitting together, you can see the fuel difference. I mean, Monk could have carried on for another lap. He had that luxury, but he decided to pit in, and it's not bad, not a bad job from Monk here. Meanwhile, Shami has retaken the lead, and Archie is up into P2 for the back. I did see someone making some moves, as Wildest Monk comes out on the racing softs and straight onto the racing line. Luckily for him, Fun Anywhere and Pleb were not close behind. I think Archie is Archie's exact 2.4 in middle of Shami and Monk. Monk has come out 1.2 seconds ahead of Fun Anywhere. The gap is closing down though rather quickly, and for Fun Anywhere's sake, this is a good news. Let's have a look at the top in speed here between the Viper and the GT. Of course, Fun Anywhere will have the slipstream advantage, but for our sake, let's have a look at the top in speed between the Viper, the GT, and the Lamborghini. So it should give us a good indicator. Not the exact one, but a decent enough. Let's have a look at the finish line. 260. It's the same, and it's a bit lower on the Lamborghini. So it's quite even Steven, if I can say that, between the Citroen and the Viper here. I don't think anyone thought of going with the Viper. Maybe they could have thought of it, but maybe they thought that since this is a heavy car, shouldn't be too good on the tire wear, maybe, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, Monk doing really well in that car. Shami comfortably 2.6 seconds in front of Archie. Was he saving fuel because the gap is closing down? Archie retakes the provisional lead. So we have seen quite a few race leaders here. We have seen Archie lead this race, Monk lead this race, Fun Anyway has led this race as he sets his personal best with a 48.6. Pleb, I don't think I've seen him lead the race yet. Glenn has led the race. Pratik, I don't know. RKV again, he's on his own, so not the best. Look at this lap time, 48.1, so 1/10 off the fastest lap. So he did have some form of slipstream in the last lap. Even last lap, I mean last lap, and the last lap here it was quite decent as well, 48.3. So not doing too bad himself. Shami is in P8, Shah in the McLaren. I think this car and the Lamborghini are at a massive disadvantage here, as Archie, our race leader, comes into the pits, and we have a different race leader once again, as he sets a 48.7. That's his personal best, but still not quick enough as the fastest lap. Fun Anyway is now within a second of Monk, and Pleb in his Lamborghini is just losing time head over heels, and very soon he will be under attack from Glenn here. Let's leave this camera angle on for our sake. Does Ghost Car help in the slipstream? Because the gap is pretty consistent. As I said it, the gap has fallen down. So commentator's curse, and it has increased back up. Because if that's the case, then whose car is that? Dan's. So Dan could be helping Monk there just a tiny little bit, as he gets the blue flag. But since he's ghosted, I don't think Monk has anything to worry about that. Half a second, so he's closed on quite rapidly here, something that I totally missed. Let's have a look. Pleb and Pratik are back in the pits again. Archie is in P6, who was leading the race a couple of laps back. So a lot of position changes that we see on this track, and I think that was the purpose or aim of this race, to have as many race leaders as possible. But of course, the one that will matter the most will be at the end of this timer. So just over 18 minutes to go. We are over halfway race distance into this. Let's have a look at the fuel situation here. Right, so this has to be worrying for Fun Anyway, because the Viper is doing exceptionally well on the fuel and as well as the tire wear. You can see this is Citroen by GT. I'm going to switch to Viper now. There you go. So you can see how much tire disadvantage and fuel disadvantage is a GT at, and he will be pitting it now as his fuel is flashing. So we could see Monk maybe for the first time this season. He already has a race win in season 1, so maybe this is the race where the unpopular car in the Viper take away comfortable win. Let's hope it's not comfortable for our sake, but I'm sure Monk wouldn't complain, as the gap is 4.2 between Glenn and Wildest Monk. But even now you see the fuel advantage the Viper has over the GT. Oh, as who was that? Dan goes into the wall. You can see the fuel, it's almost half. He's at 1/4 and I think he's at 1/8, and he will be pitting now as his light is flashing. Further back, Shami is on his own, Archie is on his own, Shah is coming under attack from Pleb, who is himself is coming under attack from Pratik rather quickly. So yeah, I think Lamborghini here for Pleb is a sitting duck, and I think Pleb won't be too pleased with the way the race is going, and he's indicating and allowing him to casually overtake. So yeah, not the best race for our championship leader. And what this could do here, as things stand, Glenn is in the pits as expected. Where is Mark? Monk 15.6 seconds in the lead. So okay, Viper definitely has a massive advantage here. Monk will definitely pit. He has to pit. He can't go all the way, but so will Shami. Archie will be pitting as well. So this is a brilliant race strategy, or a master stroke you can say, from Mr. Consistent here, going against a popular choice of GT, picking the Viper, using the strategy to his advantage, and yeah, he's leading the race. There, I went for a quick sip of a coffee. Throat was dry, speaking continuously for over half an hour now. If you put in consider the restarts that we have had. Right, so Archie is up in the lead, 5.4 seconds in front of Fun Anywhere, who's right under attack from Wildest Monk. And pretty sure, I think what Monk could do here, not that he has to, but could do is stay behind Fun Anywhere, use him as a slipstream and a launch pad and a tool to save his fuel, which I think Viper has 6 gears as opposed to GT7. So yeah, Fun Anywhere is already in the pits. Nah, he's just going defensive. Where is Pratik? Pratik is in his rear view mirror. Oh, yeah, there is the rear view digital. And you can see the speed disadvantage the Viper has over here, but what Monk has done here is played this race really beautifully. Not the fastest car on the track by any means, or at least the fastest, I mean in the sense of a top in speed. But where he has used this car is, I think, the fuel advantage he has had over the GTs. And as Pratik goes into the walls. Speaking of that, now that we are on board him, he did ask me to check out his wheels. Let's have a look. And as he goes into the pit, so perfect opportunity to have a look at what this is all about. And Archie's in the pits as well. I did see 4 spoke red color wheels. Or is that pink? Ah, it's a pink wheel. Alright, I think that's all I have to say about that wheel. Back to the race. Monk is in P2, closely behind Fun Anywhere, and I think he can sit behind him. And I think all he has to do is pit once more, of course, since the lap is really short and just over 13 minutes to go. Fuel advantage is a massive fuel advantage over Fun Anywhere. You can see Fun Anywhere is almost around, you can say 30%, and he's at 75. So what he really needs to do is just sit back and relax and have literally a Sunday drive between our provisional race leader. Glenn, who is in P3, fuel situation doesn't look too good for him as well. So every GT here, GT car here is struggling with their fuel. Lamborghini is struggling here as well. So I think for pleb's sake, if he needs to finish in the top 5, I think fuel saving is the way to go for him, because he needs to pit in just once for his sake and maybe take that all the way to the end. But still, the gap will close down massively once the race is over, and if Monk is able to win this race. Shami will be closing down the gap, as we can already see. The gap is falling down, courtesy a better all-round car compared to the Lamborghini. Archie is in P6, not really within the slipstream range of anyone. RKB not having the best of the race here, is coming under attack from the McLaren, who's still indicating, following all the rules and regulations of the road here, even on the racetrack. So well done to him, you can see. Right, let's just get back. Abitar was in P10, Dan is down in P11, and still running. Fair play to him. He's been last throughout the race, but he's still carrying on. Fun Anywhere is just under half a second behind Wildest Monk, who I think it will be too early to say, but I can say he is our net race leader rather than provisional. Fun Anywhere is in the pits again, so Monk is back into the lead. Glenn, who is within the slipstream range, will or maybe could go for the move at the by turn 3. But the fuel situation, half a tank in the Viper, almost empty in the Citroën. So Not looking good for Citroën. If those drivers are looking for a race win tonight, definitely Shammy will be going in the pits. Archie, we'll have to wait and see if we can take it all the way to the end. Fun Anywhere and Pratik, they are fighting, so this is definitely a fight for P5. Let's have a look at the fuel situation. Fun Anywhere just made his pit stop, so definitely he has that advantage over Pratik. Glenn is in the pits as expected. Shammy is, yeah, as expected, he's in the pits as well. Monk, meanwhile, guarding on. I think he has nothing to worry about now. Just one more stop to go. He could choose literally any tire. I think he has used up all the tire compounds that there was to use. Fuel, I think he has to calculate how much fuel he needs to fill up his car with, and then just bring it home and take the checkered flag. Where is our championship leader? He's down in P6, so he has made his pit stop, and drivers behind him are not doing too well on their fuel, so some relief for him. And Glenn, who has just come out of his pits, could be looking to go all the way on this tank. Could be a challenge with 9.5 minutes to go, but we shall see as the race progresses. So we can see now, as the race is coming to a close, everyone is bunching up together. Everyone has used up, I believe, all the available tire compounds, and yeah, it's all about who can manage their tire wear and fuel wear the best from here. Archie will be definitely pitting. 1/4 tank of fuel left in it. Just a little worse off than Archie is the wiper of Monk. So let's leave Monk alone for some time and concentrate on the close battles that we have on our hands here. Glenn is on the racing hard, and so is Fun Anywhere. Let's stay on this camera angle. So Glenn is the closest that we have between the two rivals. So will Glenn work together with Fun Anywhere and close down the gap to P3, currently held by Pratik, or just fight for... Pratik is already in the pits, but that's a lap car. Right, for a second I thought Glenn was being overtaken. Fastest lap still belongs to Pratik, and I think this is where it will stay. That was set early in the race, and I don't see anyone else beating that lap anytime soon. So we can see Fun Anywhere is just under 8/10 or 7/10 rather in front of Glenn. Our race leader is in the pits, and I think this is for the final time. He was almost running on fumes there. Glenn has closed down the gap massively, and we could see him maybe make the move on the next lap at this very corner, or maybe use him as a bump draft to get away from Pleb. He could be pitting. Don't think his half a tank will go all the way to the end, but where is Monk going to come out? This should be crucial for him. He's coming out just in front of the pack, and he rejoins in P1, but now just gets overtaken by Fun Anywhere. So this is getting really interesting now. I don't think Monk will be making his pit stop, and it's all here to play for Monk. Now for Monk's sake, what he has to do is stay out of trouble. He is on fresh compound of softs and full tank of fuel, but drivers around him have to pit for sure. Fun Anywhere will definitely pit. Glenn will have to pit for sure. Whilst Monk is in P3, driver behind him, Pleb, will be pitting. And Shammy is not in the picture right now. So Monk needs to play this smart, not lose too much time as he's been pushed into the pit stop, but he had to brake and avoid that. Avoid being pushed into the pits. And what this has done is allowed Pleb, maybe for the first time, if my memory serves that right, take the race lead here. There's no damage luckily for Monk here, and I don't think he would be too pleased if he would have had any damage. But the speed advantage that the Viper has over Lamborghini, we could see the gap closing down on Pleb here. So these two have are leading the championship in this very order. Pleb is in P1 in the table, followed by Monk. RKV, who is in P3, is not doing really well. He's not even in the top 8. He's in P9, so not the best of the race for him as someone is going around in circles. No idea who glitched, and Monk is finally, sorry, Pleb is in the pits. So this could be the final pit stop for him. Where will he come out? We should see, but Monk is just 8/10. Oh, Shah is lagging. Oh, he's lagging all over the place. And for other drivers' sake, let's hope there is no damage to other cars. And yeah, we can see it's very similar to what Fun Anywhere was suffering from. Oh, he's right in a car, but I think that's a lapped car, so shouldn't be much of a problem. Let's get back up to the battle. Monk has fallen down the order. He was leading, wasn't he? Somehow Shami has taken the lead, or Clownster, if you guys remember. Glenn is almost 15 seconds behind, so this is the battle for the lead. Let's have Shami, as I was about to say that Shami slots into the pits. So Monk takes net P1. I think I can say that now with just under 5 minutes to go. This is net P1, and this is all for him to lose. So he has to manage his race from here on. Nothing to worry from the drivers behind, who is good 14.5 seconds behind, and that is Glenn. Archie's in P3, so this should be a good result. I think Archie has never managed to score a podium in this league, so this could very well be the podium he is looking for. And with the advantage that GT has over Lamborghini, currently being driven by Pleb, Archie should be good enough in pulling away. As you can already see, the gap is being built up slowly, but it is definitely building up. Down the order, Fun Anyway will be closing down the gap, so Ancient Pleb will be under attack from the GT of Fun Anywhere very quickly. Shami is down into P6. He was P1 when he made his pit stop, and I don't think he will be pitting anymore. Pratik, not the best of the race for him, is down in P7. RKV, someone who's been having really good results over the past few weeks in proximity as well as other racing leagues. He won't be happy with the result. Abitako down in P9, followed by Dan in P10. Aditya still running in P11. The gap between Glenn and Wildest Monk has closed down, but nothing for Monk to really worry about. And we can already see Pleb has closed down the gap by I don't know how much, but definitely under a second, just a bit over now. And Fun Anywhere really needs to close that gap down if he wants to have any shot at taking P4 or maybe P3 away from Pleb or Archie in that regard. So definitely fight for the final step on the podium is on here. The gap is down to just over 7/10. So Archie is struggling here. Let's have a look at the fuel and the tire wear. So in both regards, the Lamborghini is doing quite well, and you can see the gap, the distance between these two. So this should help Pleb for a tiny bit before Archie is able to pull away. You can see the ghost car of I think that's Dan is pulling away from that lamppost. So this could work against him, but Fun Anywhere has lost some ground here. Did he scrape the wall? But whatever happened, he has lost all his pace advantage over Ancient, and now he's under attack from Shami, who is running the same default livery as someone is in the pits. Who was that? Pleb is, oh no, Archie. Oh, so Archie could very well lose his podium. This is not good for Archie, who looked like he was on for a podium finish, but that's not the case. But this has worked beautifully for Pleb, who we've seen running as low as P8, could very well finish on the final step on the podium. So this is definitely a damage control for him, as Shami says a new fast lap with a 48.038, but still a 10 points advantage to Monk, but it's not as bad for Pleb's sake, not as bad as it was in the previous two races. So Pleb, I don't think, won't mind that too much, considering he was surrounded by GTs behind him. And further back, oh, Fun Anywhere is in the pits again. So strategy not playing to their advantage, so not being smart enough with that. Archie will overtake Fun Anywhere, and he will take P5 away from him. Pratik is coming back from behind. Will he take that position away from Fun Anywhere? He is on the racing softs, and field situation looks good enough to take him all the way to the end. And Fun Anywhere comes right in front of Pratik. So yeah, this fight for P6 is definitely on, and something to keep our eyes on. RKV is in the pits again, so yeah, race is not going too good for him. Glenn, oh, I thought for a second I thought he's right on tail of Monk, but speaking of being on the tail, Pleb has managed to close on the gap on Glenn here. Fuel wise, both looks very even as per the tire wear wise. So all of a sudden, Lamborghini doesn't seem like too bad of an option compared to Glenn, who is racing a ghost of Dan, and Dan, obviously he's a ghost car, so he is not causing any sort of damage to anyone's race. But still, I think Glenn must be asking him to get out of the way, because he could be obstructing the braking points of his. Oh, race has already finished, so Monk has already won. I'm sorry, I thought there was one more lap to go. Glenn, meanwhile, has managed to hold on to his P2, and a late attack from Ancient Pleb. Ancient Pleb doing really well after finishing off the podium for the last two races, but third time has always been lucky, and Pleb finishes on the podium. Shammy finishing crossing the line in P4. Archie, who looked good to finish on the podium, flashes his light and crosses the line in P5. Fun Anywhere, not a good result from him, crosses the line in P6, followed by Pratik in P7. RKV, not a good result in P8, followed by Abby, Dan, and Aditya, the last to cross the line in P11. So that's the race done. Just a final confirmation of the race result, which we could see once again, and there you have it. Down from P7, gaining 6 positions courtesy beautiful strategy from Mr. Consistent. Monk has taken away a race win, his first race win in this season, second overall, and this will do a lot of good for his chance at winning the championship title for season 2. Let's have a look at the race result here. Monk finishing in P1, followed by Glenn and Ancient Pleb, who rounded off the podium. So 3 different constructors in Dodge, Citroen and Lamborghini rounding off the podium. Outside the podium was Shammy, Archie, Fun Anywhere, Pratik, RKV, all our full-time drivers finishing in the top 8. On reserves, Abby doing quite well in P9. Dan, Aditya, this seems to be Jackster. No, Jackster is here. No idea who that could be, but someone in P12, Jackster in P13, Ashwin in P14 and Shah in P15. So we've had 4 DNFs, so it was a full lobby. I was the 16th driver, so all maxed out. We can see a lot of GT, but the only Viper on the track managed to take that away from the rest of the pack. So congratulations to Monk and our podium winners. And next week we are in Alsace, a track that's really used even in the daily races, and we are with the group 2 cars, if I remember correctly. So that should be an interesting battle, as well as not many know much about how Alsace is on the tire wears. So until next week, this has been Caesar, and I'll see you later. Good night.